close down. Or you could gaze at a point on the ceiling, so if that feels better to you. And then relax your jaw, wiggle it from side to side. Let your shoulders soften down from your ears. And then begin to take nice deep breaths. You can inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. I just want you to take a few more rounds of breath just like that right here. And allow yourself to show up in this space. Not pushing or pulling or making anything be a certain way. You're just here. And it's perfect. And you could even perhaps move into Ujjayi breath if that's kind of what you would like to do, but you don't have to, right? So if today you just need to breathe in and out, then just breathe in and out. And then as we begin our practice, something that I've kind of been thinking about, one of my friends, she's actually on here, Melissa, and I have been talking about all the things life lately. Whew, y'all. And then my, Clara's aunt and I were talking about this yesterday too. Like just about Clara and like how she is around people, with people, and my worries, the thing. And we were talking about those kind of people in your life that it doesn't matter really what they physically look like. They are beautiful. They're beautiful. But you realize that it's not because of perfect facial features or perfect quote unquote yoga body or any of that kind of stuff, right? You know that I don't believe in all that BS anyway. But it's this light that they have within them that makes them so incredibly beautiful that everywhere they go, they shine and people are drawn to them. Clara is this way, my daughter. And I ran across this quote that says, "Beauty is in the way you hold yourself. It's how you treat people, the way you love. It's self-acceptance. Beauty is in your soul." And then I'm going to take it one step further and I'm going to replace a word myself and say yoga is in the way you hold yourself. It's how you treat people, the way you love. It's self-acceptance. Yoga is in your soul. So if that resonates with you, maybe you let it take root today for your practice. Now is a perfect time to set up your playlist. Go ahead and start it. And if you're not already there, lie down flat on the earth. Let your feet extend forward and they hang comfortably open. And then you reach your arms up overhead into a full body stretch. You could arch your low back, roll out your wrists and your ankles. And then as you exhale, you hug your knees in towards your chest and wrap your arms around your shins. You kind of rock side to side. Let it be gentle here. You could even turn your gaze in the opposite direction from your knees. And then just notice what happens with your shoulders. Are they kind of rooting up towards your ears, right? Can you soften them back down? And then you'll come into center. Extend extend your left leg long. Grab your strap or whatever you're using. Loop it around the ball of your right foot. And then extend your right foot up into the sky. Now both feet are slightly flexed. So your left leg is active even though it's down on the ground. And then you might choke up on your strap just a little bit as you draw your right thigh in towards your chest, but relax your shoulders back and down. You could always take a soft bend in the knee here. And then as you inhale, deepen the bend in your right knee. And on the exhale, straighten your right leg out. Don't overextend the knee joint, so there could still be a soft bend. And then you inhale, deepen the bend. Exhale, lessen the bend. So as you inhale, you feel your right thigh come closer to your chest. And as you exhale, it moves away. Take your last one. Really extend your right heel towards the sky. Draw your right thigh in with no pain, no sensation around the kneecap or the gluteal fold. Take both ends of your strap or whatever you've got around your foot into the right hand. Take an inhale. Just very gently open your right leg to the right and turn your gaze to the left. It is early in your practice. There should be no sensation in the knee whatsoever. It's just there. And then you inhale, come back into center. Take your straps back into both hands again, and then very gently flex your right foot and draw it to the left, maybe 1 or 2 inches. You might feel this in your IT band on the right side. Then you inhale, draw back through center. Release the strap, hug both knees into your chest, and we're just going to switch sides. Right leg goes long. Strap around the ball mounds of your left foot. And extend your left leg up into the sky. Both legs are active, feet slightly flexed. Relax your shoulders from your ears. Draw your left thigh in towards your chest. But I want to remind you, if you have to grimace or you're already uncontrollably shaking and like all of that, then you're going too deep for what we're trying to do here, right? This is a very different mentality than that with which you would approach working out at the gym. You're not trying to go all in here. Take an inhale, soften the left knee. And then you exhale, extend your left leg. Careful with your kneecap, your knee joint. Inhale, the left thigh comes closer into your rib cage. And exhale, lessen the bend. Take a couple more just like that. Move with your breath, right? So you'll notice if your breath starts to get choppy or do anything like that, it just means that we're going too far. And then you'll straighten your left leg, take both ends of the strap into your left hand. Take an inhale, soften your shoulders. Left leg out to the left as you exhale. It doesn't have to go all the way down or get anywhere close. Just bringing sensation into the left inner thigh and your groin. Breathe. Right leg is still active. Then gently draw your left foot back into the sky. Take the straps in both hands. Flex your left foot and draw it to the right, just 1 or 2 inches. So you feel a slight sensation down the outside of your left leg. Come back into center, release your strap, hug your knees in towards your chest, and rock side to side. Slide your hands behind your thighs, and we're going to take spinal rocks and rolls, kind of forward and backward. You can go as deep or as gentle as you want. And on the last one, come all the way to your box pose, so hands and knees. Stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. And then your knees come underneath your hips. On your inhale, let a soft belly drop down. Lift your chin, lift your tail. And on the exhale, arch your upper back. Navel to your spine. Inhale, the belly down. The heart presses between your upper arm bones. And then exhale, belly up. Chin towards your chest. Now you can stay right here and move through cat and cow. Or you can start to take hip circles, right? Moving around, creating a body wave, undulations with the spine, whatever it is that you need here. We keep pressing down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. And just welcome any sensations that arise. But I invite you to also pay attention, not just to the places that are tight or feel stuck, but also those places that feel amazing today. Right? Celebrate those. Take an inhale, come back to center. And then on the exhale, curl up your toes, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Just take a moment or two here to feel this out. And maybe roll to the balls of your feet, take a bend to your knees, and really lift your tail to the sky as your chest presses in towards the sides. So you get a nice clean hinge at the hips. Take an inhale. Walk yourself to the top of your mat as you exhale. Want your feet about hip width distance apart. Take an inhale, crown forward, tailbone back. And then exhale to a ragdoll, opposite elbows with your hand. The crown of your head reach down. You could sway side to side. Take another inhale. And then let your hands come down to the ground as you exhale. Leave your feet about hip width distance apart. And then come all the way to standing as you inhale. One vertebra at a time. Roll your shoulders back and down when you get there. Good. Now on the inhale, reach your arms out and up. As you exhale, settle in. Let your feet root down into the ground. The inhale, your fingertips reach higher, so you find length in the side body, and then your low back decompresses, right? So your tail lengthens towards the ground. Reach like you mean it as you inhale, and then open arm twist to the right as you exhale. Let your right hip draw forward instead of back. And then you inhale both arms to the sky. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale, elbows back and down. Lift your chest. You could press your hips forward. Then you inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale, cactus your arms, elbows back and down. Lift your chest. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, arms to the sky. Last round. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Maybe you slide your right arm around the small of your back and your right fingertips look for your left hip. Roll your shoulder back and down and keep pulling your right hip forward. Slowly release. Swing the right arm back up, face forward. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Stay just like this. Or maybe your left arm wraps around the small of your back, left hand finds your right side waist, your right hip. Good. Slowly release. Inhale, rotate front and center. Exhale, elbows back and down. Lift your chest and breathe. All right, y'all. Inhale, reach your arms high. Now take a baby bend into your knees. So I want your low back to relax. Now as you exhale, let your palms face down towards the ground as they drift towards your hips, your thigh. Good. Inhale, let the energy lift, palms face up, hands come to about elbow height. And then exhale, press it down. Just ground our energy. Inhale, lift the palms, wrists in alignment with the elbows. Exhale, press it down. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last 3. Inhale. Exhale. 2. And 1. Let your hands rest on your low belly for a moment. Roll your shoulders back and down. On the inhale, flicker open your eyes, reach your arms out and up. On the exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold, crown of your head down. Inhale to a halfway lift. And then exhale, bring your hands down, step your left foot back, left knee to the earth. Right knee tracks over the heel or the ankle. Take your time. On the inhale, reach your arms up overhead. On the exhale, cactus your arms, elbows back and down. Lift your chest. Good. Let your hands make a fist at the base of your spine. Interlace your fingers. On the inhale, puff up your chest. You got to squeeze the inner thighs together to help with your balance here. And on the exhale, if you choose, you can hinge forward and take your crown of the head towards the inner arch of your right foot and your fist up and over off of your low back. On the inhale, reach your arms up overhead. On the exhale, bring your hands down, shift your hips back, straighten your right leg and hold. Let your right toes flex back towards your shin. And then pull your right hip back, your left hip forward. You could squeeze kind of at the base of your pubic bone, draw the low belly in and up. And melt your navel towards your right thigh bone. Alright, chill. From here, as you inhale, slowly walk yourself forward. Curl up your back toes, lift your back knee. On the exhale, just kind of settle in and really reach your left heel back and bend your right knee over your right ankle. Left hand stays down. Right arm reaches up to the sky as you inhale. Some of you will stay right here because it's the perfect spot for you. Others will roll to the outer edges of both feet on the exhale. Right arm reaches back and down. All 10 toes point towards the long edge of your mat. Now it's a big movement here. On the inhale, slowly lift up and over. On the exhale, all 10 toes turn to the left. Low Skandasana to the back of your mat. Your left knee is bent, your right leg is straight. Hands to your heart. Now my purpose here is not to get the blood, like the heart pumping. It's to find some mobility and fluidity in the low back, the hips, all of that good stuff, right? So we're going to do that 2 more times, but you can go as slow as you want. I just want you to feel some movement in the lower extremities of your body. Your hands come down to the ground. It's gentle. Inhale, walk yourself forward. Left hand to the inner arch, right arm reaches. Horizon lunge on the exhale if you want it. Inhale, slowly come back up and over. Exhale, low or high skandasana at the back of your mat. Left knee bends, right leg is straight. Hands down. Inhale, top of your mat, left hand down, right arm reaches. And then exhale, maybe you take the horizon lunge, maybe you stay right here. On the inhale, slowly come back up and over. It's your last one. Exhale, low skandasana to the back of your mat and hold. Your right toes ideally are pointing straight up to the sky if you're low. Your right foot is flat if you're lifted and your hips are in alignment with your shoulders. Pull the pit of your belly in and out. Hands to the ground. Inhale, lizard lunge, top of your mat. Exhale, let your left knee soften to the ground. Okay, pull your heart forward as you inhale. When you start off here, your right toes are at 12 o'clock, your right knee is over the heel of the ankle, and your knee hugs into your right tricep. A lot of times we go into this default of just rolling out onto the outer edge of the right foot, which is okay if you're trying to increase or create a specific sensation in your body. But lizard lunge, your toes are forward and your knee is hugging in. Now, if you want, you turn your right toes out to 1 or 2 o'clock. You could roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Everything is controlled and on purpose with purpose, right? It's not willy-nilly. You can pull your heart forward. Let the pit of your belly draw in and up. For those of you that want it, lift your left heel. I'm not going to take the hand to foot bind today of crooked monkey. I'm just going to bring my heel in towards my glute to get the left hip flexor and the left quad. Awesome. You could, if you wanted, also just reach your right arm up. We've done plenty of that, so you might not need that twist. And then let your right hand come back down. Your left toes back to the ground. Now heel toe your right foot to the center of your mat. As you inhale, curl up your back toes, lift your back knee. And on the exhale, step your right foot back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Chest in towards your thighs. Now take it nice and slow. Inhale, roll to the balls of your feet. And on the exhale, bring your knees down to the ground. Slide your knees back so you come into like a modified plank. Perfect. Pull your heart forward. Take an inhale. Soften all the way down to your belly as you exhale. Nice. All right, so from here, I'm gonna have to move some of my stuff out of the way over here. With your belly down, I want you to draw your right knee up to alignment with your hip. Your right ankle is underneath your knee. Good. And then your hands. So it's a half frog pose. Your left leg is long, your right knee is at a 90-degree angle. Okay? So this might feel really comfortable and be creating zero sensation for you, right? You could say right here, you could bring your arms down so that your shoulders relax and bring your right ear, your right temple to the ground. You could also take the left ear, left temple. If you need more, there are several options here. You could slide a block underneath your right knee. So I'll show you all facing the other way. Maybe that will be more helpful. So you could slide a block underneath your right knee. It's going to open up your right groin and like your hip flexor a little bit more, because it's going to create space between your leg and the ground, right? And like to me, like that feels pretty perfect, just right there. You choose. Now, if you don't feel like doing this part with the knee on a block or on a support, you could also start to walk your hands forward and take a Sphinx pose on the top half of your body and frog pose on the bottom half. So elbows underneath the shoulders, wrists in front of the elbows. Roll your shoulders back and down. Now if this creates tension or compression in the low back, this is not the option you go for, right? If you do feel something, maybe you take the top of your pubic bone and draw it towards your navel. If that takes it away, then we're good. But if it's pinching or feeling weird, take a different thing, right? It's just not for you today. Doesn't mean anything bad. Now, if you're in the Sphinx variation and you feel like you've got a little bit more to give, you could lift your elbows, into seal, right? You gotta pull the pit of your belly in and up. And it's okay if you get into it and then you're like, I'm not feeling it today. You come back. So just take a breath or two, wherever it is that you are. And then extend your right leg long. Right foot meets the left. You could bend your knees and windshield wiper out your feet if you need that, especially if you took any of the back bending variations. And then hands come underneath your shoulders. Tops of your feet down. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, press your palms into the earth. Hips to your heels for child. Forehead down. You can roll your forehead side to side. And then as you inhale, slowly come up into your box pose. And on the exhale, downward facing dog. There we go. All right. On your inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step your feet to your hands, nice and slow. Inhale to a halfway lift, crown forward, tailbone back. Exhale, chest to your thighs, let the crown of your head just hang down. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach your arms out and up. And then exhale, let your hands come down to the small of your back. Interlace your fingers, make a fist. Now as you inhale, roll your shoulders back and down. And on the exhale, take your fist over to your left side waist, your left hip. Relax your shoulders back and down. The crown of your head reaches. And on the exhale, let your left ear come down to your left shoulder. Allow for the right side of your neck to open up. And then you inhale, lift the crown of your head. Let your fist slide back down towards your sacrum. Open your chest, puff up. And then you exhale, slide your fist over to the right side waist, the right hip. Relax your shoulders back and down. Let the crown of your head reach high. And then as you exhale, let your right ear come down to your right shoulder. Now, if the fist over to the side body doesn't feel great, just take opposite elbows behind you and take the same neck stretch. Let the ear kind of soften down towards the shoulder. Now as you inhale, crown of the head reaches. Let your fist slide back down towards the sacrum. Open up your chest. And then on your exhale, hinge at your hips, forward fold, crown down. The fist works its way up and over. Hands down to the ground, halfway lift as you inhale. Now step your right foot to the back of the mat, right knee down to the earth as you exhale. Inhale, arms up overhead. Reach your fingertips high. Exhale, elbows back and down. Lift your chest. Good, y'all. Let your hands find one another at the small of your back. Interlace your fingers. So this is a lot of balance right here. Puff up your chest as you inhale. Energetically squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. And then round the crown of your head towards the inner arch of your left foot on the exhale as you lift your fist. Careful with the elbows. And then the hips and the shoulders ideally stay squared. Good. And then you inhale, shoulders back over hips, arms up overhead. Exhale, frame your front foot with your hands. Curl up your back toes. Lift your back knee. Oh, yeah. No, I didn't take our half split. Sorry, guys. Shift your hips back. Straighten your left leg. Let your left toes flex back towards your shin. I was like, we're missing something. It's the left side opening. So let your left hip pull back, your right hip pull forward. Your toes flex back towards the shin. So in half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. Relax your shoulders from your ears. And then check that your right hip, your thigh, your knee are in a straight line. My hip likes to tend to flare out. Good. Now we walk this forward. Curl up the back toes. Lift the back knee. The right hand stays rooted. And then your left arm reaches up to the sky for your runner's twist. Roll your shoulders back and down so your neck is long. Now you can stay right here. If you just need a little bit more, you inhale. And then as you exhale, roll to the outer edge of both feet without dumping down into your right shoulder. And your left arm reaches back and down. All 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat. Now this is where the big movement comes in. Inhale, lift your left arm up and over. Walk yourself to the right. All 10 toes turn slightly to the right. Sit your hips down. Bend your right knee, straighten your left leg. You can also stay lifted with your shoulders in alignment with your hips, both feet flat, right? If you're in the low variation, let your toes flex up towards the sky. Breathe. Now remember, this is going to get your breath going just a little bit. It's okay. It's gentle flow. Go as slow as you want. Hands down, lift your hips, walk yourself forward. Right hand down, left arm reaches. And then you can exhale to your horizon lunge. You can also skip that part. And then you inhale, reach up and over. Exhale, low skandasana, back of your mat. Right knee is bent, left leg is long. And then hands down. Lift your hips, inhale, top of your mat. Horizon lunge as you exhale. Inhale, lift up and over. Last time, exhale, back of your mat. Right knee bends, left leg lengthens. Hands could come to heart center. Breathe here. Soften your face, y'all. And then you slowly come back to the top of your mat. Hands to the inside of your left foot. Soften your right knee down. Good. Heel toe your left foot over. Start off with your left knee, your left toes at 12 o'clock. The knee hugs in towards your tricep. You breathe. Pull the pit of your belly up to support your low back. And then if you want more, you go out to maybe 10, 11 o'clock with the left foot. You could come down to the forearms. You could come down to blocks, right? Roll to the outer edge of your left foot if you need that today. Maybe you bend your right knee, flex your right foot. You could stretch, reach the left arm up. You could take your left arm back. I'm going to stay with my shoulders squared off towards the front, with my left knee flared open. But my knee, my ankle, and my toes are all in the same direction. Yeah? And then I'm flexing the right foot, heel digs towards the glute so that I open my right hip flexor and my quadricep. Awesome, you. Anything else that you did, let both hands come back down underneath the shoulders. Let your right toes find the earth. Heel toe your left foot over. Curl up your back toes, lift your back knee. You just step back to your downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Notice that by engaging your bandha, so squeeze at the base of your pubic bone and draw that lowest part of your belly in and up. And then as you exhale, you empty your lungs and draw the belly in and up. It supports your back, right? It takes away some of that pressure, that tension. Roll to the balls of your feet. Soften your knees down to the earth. Slide your knees back so that your hips, thighs, and knees create a diagonal line and hinge your hips forward. Look to the top of your mat. Pull your belly in and up and your shoulders back and down. Good. Press down into the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger. Take an inhale. Soften all the way down as you exhale. Good, y'all. Going the wrong way on the volume there. All right, so from here, slowly draw your left knee, thigh, up into alignment with your left hip. And then your left ankle is directly underneath your left knee. So it's half frog pose, right? Now you can take any variations that you have in your practice, right? If there's something that you like from this shape and you know how to do it, you go there, right? You can take different ears down to the ground to see what feels the best. I think looking to the left creates a little bit more tension in the left side of my neck than if I bring my right ear, right temple down, right? And then if you need the additional, you slide the block underneath your left knee so it gives you more stretch on the front side of your left hip. You could walk your forearms underneath you, elbows underneath your hips, elbows underneath your shoulders, forearms straight forward, wrists in front of the elbows for your Sphinx pose at the top part of your body and half frog on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and say it. This side feels a lot better. Yeah? Like I feel like it's, I don't know. It just feels great. If you need more, you lift your elbows, right? Be honest about if you need more. It's easy to fall into that thinking you do whenever you really don't, right? But it's also easy to just hang out where you've always hung out and kind of plateau and cease growing, right? So you gotta play that line. Let's take a few more breaths right here, wherever you are, doing whatever it is that you're doing. And then when you're ready, slowly come down. Slide your left foot to meet the right. You could bend your knees. You can windshield wiper your feet from side to side. And slowly let your feet come back down to the ground. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift your chest as you inhale. Box pose as you exhale. All right, y'all. Take your right arm up to the sky as you inhale. And then thread the needle underneath your left arm as you exhale. Let your right ear, your right temple come down to the ground. Now you could stay right here in this box pose variation. You could take your left leg out to the side and let your right fingertips reach for your left toes. It's not necessary, it's just extra, right? Your left arm can reach forward or wrap around the small of your back in a half bind. Just breathe. Some of you might start to roll towards the back of your head. So your chin comes in towards your left clavicle, your left shoulder. Don't go too deep. But just see what space is available. And then slowly let your left hand come back down to the ground. Right hand meets it, left leg comes in, you're in your box pose. Take one round cat-cow. Inhale, let your belly drop down. Exhale, pull your belly up. Inhale to a neutral spine. Exhale, navel draws up. Inhale, lift your left arm to the sky. And then exhale, thread the needle, left arm underneath the right. Let your left ear, your left temple come down to the earth. You could take your right leg out to the side body. All 5 toes will point towards the top of your mat. And then your right arm can reach forward or wrap around the small of your back in a half bind. Fingertips looking for your left hip crease. Soften your face. Breathe. Relax your jaw. You might start to roll towards the back of your head and your chin moves towards your right shoulder, your right clavicle. A soft release of your right hand back towards the earth. Left palm to the ground. Bring your right knee back to your box pose. All right, y'all. So you might want to grab a block. And then come to the ball mounds of your feet for a moment. And then you might have 2 blocks, right? And then press back into your just traditional double toe stand, right? So my heels are lifted. I'm balancing on the ball mounds of my feet. And my glutes are actually like touching my heels in this right here. So you can take your feet hip width distance apart. You can work your balance right here. This is perfect, right? So walk your blocks back next to your hips. Lift your chest. Practice lifting one hand and the other. I'm going to go ahead and face forward so that y'all can see. Some of you will have the groin, the inner thigh, and the hip warmth and mobility to take your knees out and bring the ball mounds of your feet and your heels together, right? On there. And you would lift your chest. I'll move my blocks out of the way so you can see it. So don't go all crazy with it, right? But just see if this feels good to you. Lift your chest, pull your belly in, and maybe you take one hand to heart center. Maybe you take both. But just breathe. You can make this as gentle as you want. If you don't like this on your knees, sit down and take a butterfly pose, right? There's something for everybody. Breathe. And then from here, if you brought your knees out wide, bring them back together. Soften your knees down to the ground. Now, the way I am going to do this next little bit, this is either everybody's favorite or it's their nemesis. But we're going to come into full frog, okay? So I take a towel onto the wood floor next to my mat for one of my knees to slide out. Some people prefer going long ways on their mat so that they have padding underneath both knees, right? Everything is valid. I will just say, when your knees are both on your mat, it's kind of sticky and it's hard for the knees to move away from one another, for you to go deeper. If you're like that, it's fine by me. Then just go long ways on your mat. Now, here's where it gets a little particular for me, because normally I would walk around and check kind of joint alignment here. But so you want your knees in alignment with your hips, and then you want your ankles underneath your knees and your feet flexed. So the tendency is usually for people to come too far forward or too far back, almost like into a child's pose. So ideally, this will feel intense, right? Like in your groin, maybe in your low back. We're nice and warm, y'all. We've worked all of these spaces. So just let your left knee slide out if you can. I have my forearms down on the ground. I made a fist with my hands. And my gaze is just right where my thumbs cross, right? Now, as I exhale, my left knee will slide farther out away from the right. Okay, if you feel pain in your low back or sciatic nerve or anything like that from doing this, I want you to stop and take anything else, right? You can take a seated wide forward fold. You could take your butterfly pose. You could take malasana, right? But the idea here is that it won't, your yoga is not supposed to create pain, right? But it is supposed to make you uncomfortable sometimes. Even your gentle flow and stretch. Stretching is not always, right? So just breathe here. Relax Relax your brows. Wiggle your jaw from side to side. I like to pull the pit of my belly up and support my low back. Take one more inhale. Now the classiest way I have found to come out of this is to kind of slide my left knee back closer, bring my big toes to touch, and then walk my hands back, right? I know some of you could stay here for like 10 minutes. By all means, be my guest, right? You can totally do that. For the rest of us, slowly move back onto your mat. And then you might roll your hips around. I'm going to take a traditional child's pose with my knees and my inner thighs together and rest my torso on top of my thighs and my forehead down. And then you inhale, slowly come up into your box pose. Cross your feet at the ankles, sit back on your heels. And then extend your legs out in front of you. So, Paschimottanasana. Take your legs out long. Roll to the front edge of your sits bones. And then as you inhale, reach your arms out and up. Get nice and long. And on the exhale, fold over your thighs. Relax your shoulders back and down. Lift your chest. Pull your heart forward. Think of your thigh bones pulling up and towards your hip sockets. You could use your strap here. Loop it around the ball mounds of your feet. You could also just bring your hands down next to your calves to relax your shoulders down, open your collarbones, and lead with your heart. The idea is to release out of the low back here instead of like strain the low back. So if you feel anything off in the posterior chain and the backside body, I want you to bend your knees, right? And then think of your pinky toes coming back towards your shin just as much as your big toes do. And then slowly roll your shoulders back up over your hips. And now take your feet out wide into your Upavishta Konasana. So you're seated, wide leg forward fold. Woo. Hands back behind the hips. Lift your chest as you inhale. And then walk yourself forward on the exhale. If you've got a bolster, you could put a bolster here in between. It could even like come all the way up kind of towards your pelvis, and you could rest your torso on it. If you have blocks, you could stack them and rest your forehead. Some of you will come all the way down. Relax your shoulders back and down. There's a slight flex to the feet. No pain in the knees, no sensation whatsoever. Breathe in and know that you're breathing in. And breathe out and know that you're breathing out. Completely exhale. And walk yourself back up as you inhale. Slowly draw your thighs together. And then take your time. One vertebra at a time, roll down onto your back. All right. I'm going to do this real quick. So bend your knees, let your heels come in towards your sits bones. Now, you could take traditional bridge. You could also take your cobbler's bridge with your butterfly legs, whatever you feel like you need to do. I feel open enough now, like in my inner thighs and my groin and all of that, so I'm going to take traditional bridge with my knees pointed up, inner thighs energetically drawing towards one another as if I had a block in between the thighs, right? Hands down next to the hips. Inhale, lift your hips to the sky. And then exhale, just kind of settle in right here for a moment. Or down into the four corners of your feet. It's like you're trying to press your feet away from your body and lift your hips. Good. You can roll your arms underneath your shoulders. But keep the internal rotation of your thighs. Relax your brows, your jaw. Press up a little bit higher as you inhale. And then slowly come down as you exhale. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Come back to center. Cross your right ankle over your left knee, your figure four. Stay right there or hug your left thigh in towards your chest. A slight flex to both feet. Relax your shoulders back and down. Take an inhale. Let your left foot come back down to the floor. Keep the ankle where it is. As you exhale, open your arms out to a T. Inhale. Let your knees fall to the left. Turn your gaze to the right as you exhale. You've got the option here to just keep your legs as they are. To eagle up the legs. Wrap your right thigh on top of the left. Whatever it is that you need to release here. This little final wringing out of the body. And then you inhale to come back through center. Unravel the left ankle to your right knee. Stay here in figure four if it feels right. Or draw your right thigh in towards your chest with a slight flex to both feet. Relax your shoulders. You could even close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. Right foot back down to the ground as you exhale. Open your arms out to a T. Inhale. Drop your knees to the right. Turn your gaze to the left as you exhale. Again, you could stay just like that. You could unravel the legs, hug the knees in for a different kind of spinal twist. You could eagle the legs, whatever it is. When you're quiet for that moment and you let your body speak to you, you know how to respond. As you inhale, slowly come back to center. Unravel, release, Hug the knees in towards your chest. Take a deep breath in. And then happy baby as you breathe out. You could rock side to side. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. Take an inhale. And then press your feet up towards the sky as you exhale. You could slide a block underneath your low back for a supported waterfall. If that's what feels right to you. You could take traditional waterfall and just bring your feet to the sky. You could draw figure eights on the ceiling with your feet. Now if you have a block underneath your low back, bring your feet down to the ground first so that you can lift your hips and slide it out from underneath you. Take an inhale. Hug your knees in towards your chest as you exhale and round your forehead up to your knees. Take one more inhale. And then open up, sprawl out to your Shavasana as you exhale. Let your feet hang comfortably open, your arms just out to the side, body you could starfish out even, right? And take a moment here to breathe. Relax your brow, your jaw. Breathe in and know that you're breathing in. And breathe out and know that you're breathing out. And rest here and enjoy. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms up overhead in your full body stretch. A deep inhale. Hug your knees in towards your chest as you exhale. Roll over to the right. Take your time, press up into Sukhasana, your comfortable, easy sit just right where you are. Roll your shoulders back and down, sit up nice and tall. Just how you do anything is how you do everything. So sit with good posture. Let your hands either rest on your knees, in your lap, or in Anjali Mudra at heart center. So we take this moment to recognize and honor the beauty and the yoga within ourselves and in each other, right? Thank you so much for being here this morning. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I appreciate your discipline, your practice, your movement. And I have learned so much from this time. I'm so glad we have had it. And we'll continue to. Yeah? Have a great rest of your day. Peace be with each and every one of you. Namaste.